Welcome everybody to today's craft along. It's the, I don't know what date it is, what date is it? The 9th of December. And I've got a few things to show you today and one particular request for a particular card. So I'm going to show you first, let's get these out of the envelopes actually. You don't need the envelopes, they're boring. This is a cracker card, it's what we call it. And this was one I made, and we had a get together of Stampin' Up demonstrators online, and the instructor Becca Bambridge was able to gave us some wonderful things to do, including this cracker card. So this is the one I made on the night, and that's why it's called a cracker card, because it opens like that. And you can probably just about see I used quite a dark purple. I used what's called Highland Heather. Or antique grape. I can never remember which one's which. Gorgeous grape, antique. Anyway, they were the two purples I used, and I just used the gorgeous little dog and stocking, which I have used a lot today this year. Not surprising. So how do you make this one? I went and played with foil because I decided this calls for specialty DSP. So this is one, actually the DSP is from last year's beautiful set of DSP, but you can get similar ones this year. And I just kept this really simple. And that is the second one I made. So I'm going to show you just how to make that. And all the instructions are on the website. So I've got all my bits sorted out already here. Because I'm going to make a very similar one to the one I've already done. Just get rid of all of that lot. So this is the base that you need, which is a piece of cardstock. Use our 12 by 12 cardstock because it's 12 one way, 4 the other. And really simple measurements. You score at 2, 4, 8 and 10 on that long side. And you just want to make a little tiny mark at the 6 bit point. You can do it with a pencil and then rub it out afterwards, because that mark is important, because that's where you're going to score diagonal lines from that 6 mark to the outer score line of the 2 that you've already done each side. So you get this crisscross effect like that. Then you fold and burnish all of those score marks, and basically you want it to fold up like that. So if you fold and burnish them all, you want this one to be a valley, these ones to be a valley. So all of those are valleys, and then these crossways are mountains. And then you can ease it together, just push these in if you need, and that forms your actual card. So the bits you want to put together, all the measurements are on the site, on the website, but you need 2 bits for each end like that. And I've cut 2 circles, one large one and one small one, and the measurements are, I need to go and get the measurements. I have mislaid them. Just give me 1 second. Oh, they're over here. I knew I'd put them somewhere close by, so I've got them. Okay, so the bits you actually need, the 2 squares, these are 2 7/8 square and 2 3/4 square. And then you want a bit of smaller one, which is 2 5/8. I actually made that slightly smaller, I think just over 2 1/4. I think I did it 2 3/16, but the measurements are on the site. So I've used gold foil, and then the DSP. The DSP triangles here at the end, these are 3 7/8 by 1 7/8. Because these are 2 by 4, obviously you want it just a little bit smaller, so that when you stick it on, you've got a little bit of a border around the edge. So the key is how you actually deal with making the triangles for this end. So I'm going to show you that, because that's the bit you really need to know. The rest of these obviously are just all stuck together. I'll show you all of that in a minute. So if I get my scoreboard out and show you, hang on, I need to move that all over. So room on the desk, where is it? There we go. I need to get it so that you can see. So this is your larger triangle, which is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. So to get the size triangles right for the corner of your cracker card, you want to place it in here, and you want this point to go to the 1 3/4 line, which is this. Our wonderful Stampin' Up trimmers have all these lines marked on them. So I can get that at the point, and then you use the lines on this side to make sure it's lined up, and it lines up with the quarter inch mark on this side. So point at the 1 3/4, the top and bottom at the quarter mark on the other side, and then we cut it off. And that is the perfect size to fit into this bit here. Huge thanks to Becca for giving us those measurements, because I'd have been fiddling about it for hours. And then you do exactly the same on the other side. So you line up the 2 points at the 1/4 inch mark there, and the single point pointing outwards at the 1 3/4 mark. And again, we just cut it off. So those are my 2 triangles. And the beauty of this is it leaves a lovely bit in the middle. Can't pick the triangle up. There we go. Leaves this beautiful bit in the middle, because this is for the sentiment. So putting it together honestly couldn't be easier. You very simply, I think my tumbos are going to run out. It feels really light, but that's fine. So we very quickly are going to stick these to the end bits. So a little bit of tumbo on there, and then just sticking that to one end, stick this to the other. And we'll stick the triangles on, doing this really quickly, so it probably won't be very even, but it'll be good enough. There we go. And stick the triangles on. Important when you do it using the gold foil is not to not to get glue on your fingers, which I'm very good at. I'm expert at getting glue on my fingers, because it will show on the other side of the gold foil, but you can use an adhesive rubber to get it off. Sometimes leaves a little bit of a dull patch, so try hard not to get glue on your fingers when you're dealing with the gold foil. There we are. And then my other 2 bits here, the bigger gold foil bit is the backing for the center, so we'll put that on first. See, it's got a very tiny little rim all the way around. Try and get that exactly in. There we go. Then, oops, I did get a little bit of glue on that, but it's going to be covered up, so I'm not too bothered. So then I can put my piece of DSP on top of that. We've just got a little narrow border. Becca said she called these Becca's borders, which is quite nice. And then for the sentiment, what I've done, this is the gold strip from cutting off these triangles. I don't like to waste anything, and it fits beautifully just across the middle there. And all I've done is stamped Merry Christmas from, I can't remember which set. I think I've put it in the instructions, but anyway, find a suitable sentiment. And this is quite a nice tip actually for dealing with sentiments, that if to cut it out in from my sort of basic white card, it would cover the whole gold foil thing, and I didn't really want that. So this is a nice little tip. You can just fussy cut round the edge of sentiments, and it gives you rather a nice effect. So I am going to stick my sentiment onto my little gold strip that I've got left here. So no, I'd love no waste cards. So I'm going to put that somewhere in the middle here. Plus it's a little bit wide for it. Doesn't matter then if a bit of it just slips off. So there is my sentiment on there. And then I just grab dimensionals. This is a little sheet of dimensionals left over from the kit I made last week. Never waste anything, you see. Told you there'd be plenty left over. So I'm going to just put a couple of dimensionals on there. And then we can stick that across the center here. And we have a beautiful cracker card. Folded up beautifully to go in the envelope. Pulls out obviously a bit of a wow card for people.